Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks today. Use that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is the Welsh. And it's the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, all of you hanging out with us. Yesterday was a fun show. If you missed it, you should go back and watch. I'm not going to tell you why, but it's educational. It was brought to you by the letter E and the number 7. That's what it was brought to you by. And Welsh, speaking of educational, we want to educate the people today. We have some baseball to talk about. More specifically, we've got some guys too that are really performing outstandingly at the very top of the board here in a lot of categories. But I have this terrible feeling that it's just not going to last very long. And I want to start with one of them because it's Jorge Soler. Another home run yesterday. I know he's got 20. I know we're all very excited about Jorge Soler.
You've been calling this one. You were calling this one done and dead a little bit ago. You still are trying to beat it down?
I'm saying trade him, and I'll tell you why. I'm looking at the numbers, continuing to look at, the deeper stats on him. And look, I think he's going to continue onto this pace? No. I mean, I'm looking at all of his career numbers before the show, just kind of digging into stuff. And I keep saying this is a player, I mean, like the ISO's at 305. Okay, like he's got a lot of power. Last year, you know what the ISO was, Welsh, for him? It was 193. That's a tough sell for me. The BABIP right now is at 275. That's a pretty high number for him. Last year, 250, 260, that's kind of the range for him. 256, 250, really, that's kind of more where he's been. But I don't know. I've just seen a lot of Jorge Soler in my life. And 31, I just don't know if I'm buying a full season breakout. And I think you get the best of both worlds. Because if you trade him now, his value is at its peak. And if it sustains, okay, you missed out on it. But if you can get something really good back in this deal, why not try to do that? Because you're mitigating your risk of him reverting back to just that ordinary swing and miss guy that he's been for the majority of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I get the logic of what you're saying here. I don't 100% know like what you get, and I hate to always like get into this and call it like that. What is that? The trade dead zone thing. I just don't know if anyone's giving up what's worth getting rid of him right now. His big split is lefties. He's destroying lefties this year, hitting 333 in only 54 at bats. He has 9 of his 20 homers off of lefties. He's hitting only 236 against righties. So that obviously has been the big weird split. The things I love are the high. He's made huge, big changes on his barrel percentage. It's the second highest of his career to go along with a hard hit percentage, which is higher than last year. His Ks are down from last year. And then obviously expected stats are through the roof as far as, the X, blah, 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 blah. But again, I would point to like, what does the trade look like? I think Jorge Soler is going to push 40 homers this year. I also think it's going to be up and down. I think he's going to have some really aggressively frustrating swings throughout the year. But what can you get for him? If you can, I'm always interested. I would listen, but I just don't know what anyone's going to pay is going to be worthwhile to get rid of Soler. And maybe he's just going to do this the rest of the year. Because like I said, if that barrel percentage was really low with the hard hit and the strikeouts were up, I'd be a little bit more dicey, but it ain't. And he's destroying lefties, and he's going to keep destroying lefties throughout I think he's one of the top home run slug guys against lefties in all of baseball.
Okay, well, Bryce Harper's been underwhelming this year. Would you rather have Jorge Soler or Bryce Harper rest of season?
Well, Bryce Harper.
Okay. But, I mean, if you have Bryce Harper, you're kind of frustrated right now. You haven't quite gotten what you expected, even though you got him back way sooner than you expected.
Someone will give me Bryce Harper for Soler. I'll send them an edibles.
Okay. All right, here's another one. What about Giancarlo Stanton rest of season or Jorge Soler? More similar in terms of what kind of player they are.
Let me look at Stanton's stuff. I haven't paid attention to Stanton.
Let me check out Stanton's stuff. While Welsh looks at Stanton's stuff, we'll talk about Yuri Perez, who threw 6 shutout innings yesterday, 6 strikeouts. Bada bing in the win over the Mariners. Check. We got that one yesterday on the betting side of things. Another guy I want to get to is Michael Wacha. I want to talk about him, too. There's another guy, too. 31-year-old breakouts. That's what today's show is all about. So, Soler or Giancarlo Stanton, who would you rather have?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's probably more injury risk with Stanton. I mean, underlying stuff works pretty in favor of Stanton. He's actually striking out the lowest of his career right now, which is nice. But the sample size of what he's actually played is down. I don't know. I guess I'm going to say Stanton. XBA is also like 40 points higher, but I think it's pretty close to those guys. And if you wanted to say, I saw someone in the chat was like, I'll take Soler. I actually don't necessarily disagree. Like that's a bad take because he is at the middle of that order. He's not coming out. I think I'm like 1A, 1B on that.
Okay, this is a good conversation. Let's have a conversation about Michael Wacha. 6 2/3 innings yesterday, 5 Ks. On the year, Welsh, 2.89 ERA, a 1.06 whip, 69 Ks and 74 innings. It's been magical for Michael Wacha this year. But it's got to run out, doesn't it? I mean, can we really buy into Michael Wacha, who has... It's been years, it seems like, since we've gotten a full, healthy Michael Wacha season that was good. He's had some good one-off starts here and there, but the last couple of years, I mean, this might be one of the most surprising things in Major League Baseball to me this year, is Michael Wacha sitting here as a guy that you've been starting every single week for the last few weeks because he's been really solid. But I can't imagine... I mean, we're 74, 75 innings in now to Michael Wacha. This has got to be the time to get out of the Michael Wacha business, isn't it?
Yeah, Waka Waka.
Waka Waka Waka.
So we're getting into the Waka Waka.
Yeah.
I said this. I talked about him on CBS last night. I'm a little.
Look at Red
Baron.
Look at Red Baron. Wacha is this year's Martin Perez from Texas.
Okay.
You know what? That's a really good one there.
Except with strikeouts, Wacha had a bad performance.
Still under K per 9, but I hear you.
Yesterday was a bad underlying performance for Wacha. Over a mile per hour down on like every single pitch. That's worrisome. Except Wacha's changeup has been absolutely elite. If you watch that thing, it floats. It's like, blue. These guys can't hit it. It has a 36% whiff rate this season, which I think is great. He's not giving up a whole lot of hard hits. He's getting more chases because of that changeup, and he's kind of dominating the zone. So is he going to have a 2.89 ERA this year? Hell no. But
do you want to guess what his xERA is right now?
I think I already saw it. It's like 4.0.
395. You want to guess what his xFIP is?
4.
4.42. You want to guess what his xPlug is?
Yeah, suck it. That's what I think it is. But again, like he's gonna regress a little bit back more to the means. But I think he's gonna get away with a lot of stuff. He's gonna pick up wins with that great offense. If you can live with him as like a 3-5 guy, I think here's the difference. I think you could roster him the rest of the way through and feel good. If someone wants to pay up for a 2.89 ERA Wacha, sure, listen to that. But what does a trade look like? So I think the smart play is, hey, yeah, get out of the Wacha business because the rest of the season might be rougher than what you've already had. But I don't think Wacha is going to turn into a pumpkin and we're going to be cutting him for the next whoever the hell is coming up. I think he'll be actually above streamable. Or at worst, he's going to be a streamable pitcher the back end of the year. So you decide what that means for your own roster.
I would be looking to move Michael Wacha right now.
For what?
Do it. Whatever I can get, because I don't think he's going to be there. Yeah, not anything. But, I mean, let me put it to you this way. If I've got a surplus of pitching and Michael Wacha is one of them, right? Let's say I really like my starting 5 and I've got some other pitchers that I really like on my roster, and I've got Michael Wacha because I picked him up off the waiver wire this year. And if I can help myself in offense, I'm going to do that. If I can help myself in the closer situation, absolutely. With a guy that I think is going to be closing games.
Like Kyle Finnegan? Like if someone offers you Kyle Finnegan to get some saves for Wacha.
Or somebody like that. Like
no one's going to trade you Bednar for him. No way.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm just saying starting pitching's been rough this last month.
It has. You're right about
between
that.
Between the Verlander and Scherzer implosions, Manoah, Jacob deGrom, Spencer Strider, who we're going to talk about a little bit later on the show. He hasn't been great.
Here's an interesting
Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez. Shall I go on? Starting pitching's a problem right now.
Here's an interesting one. Tim actually inadvertently did this. What if someone was like, ooh, Jose Abreu is starting to get going. I need to get out. And they offer Jose Abreu for Wacha right now.
I don't think I'd do that one.
I would do that. I would do that. I think
I
think Abreu's turning around in a great way. That's a trade
like
he
is. He seems like he is turning around in a great way. But I think that there's I mean, I'm not saying you're trading him up for another starting pitcher straight up, because I know that's a difficult sell. Like that sell that I understand. But if you look at what's going on right now in the league, it's been rough out there.
Look at Wonky. Bring up Wonky's question. The chat's turning on you, Joe. Wonky's question. Why are people going to trade decent pitchers when it has been rough?
They're going to trade recent pitchers that are pitching well above their head, because that's how you win leagues. Because what you do is you make sure that the assets you have some hard conversations with yourself and you say to yourself, who's
Self.
really overperforming that should not be this good? And then you look at the deeper metrics on Michael Wacha. When does that 4.49 xFIP catch up to that 2.89 ERA? Soon. So do you want to be on that crap handle of it? No, you don't want to be on that handle of it. You want to be on the right handle of it. And I'm just telling you, I think, like, for instance, if you can get Hunter Green, I would take Hunter Green rest of season.
Well,
Hunter Green quietly been really good lately, except the ERA is still above 4, and you're looking at it, and I think that's a deal that you can make. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I actually think the Jose Abreu one is the interesting one.
That's not a bad one, too. I don't
327 in June, already 3 homers, which is 3 times what he's had the rest of the way through. A 571 slug. Who?
Yeah. Everyone seems to agree with you about the Abreu thing in the
it's
chat.
That's like a fun, like, tricky one. Like, you're selling a little bit of a better player that you think is going to regress for someone you think is going to come back.
It's all about confidence, Welsh. Brandon Nimmo had some confidence, delivered a game-winning RBI. He screwed up my my parlay yesterday with the Yankees, but whatever. So go ahead, Brandon Nimmo. Go get yourself some. Garrett Cole did record 8 strikeouts, though, in 6 innings. So, I mean,
cashed.
Nailed that one. But Garrett Whitlock is another one, too. Let's talk about Garrett Whitlock for a second. Now, this is a pitcher that I've invested in the last couple of years, and it's been frustrating. Injuries, inconsistencies, but he's always teased. He's been a tease. He's got a 22 to 4 K walk ratio in 23 innings so far this year. 2 runs over 7 innings yesterday. Is Garrett Whitlock a player that you should be looking to acquire, or in a shallow league, if he's still floating out there, possibly add? Because I think you do.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he lives in that world of, like, you roster to maybe get him out of, like, really bad matchups, like stream. It's essentially like a streamable guy, but walk rate's been really low. You like that. Strikeouts are not a whole big thing. I will point out he's almost got a 4.5 expected ERA, so that's why I'm probably looking a little bit more at, like, a streamable option. I do like how he uses the zone. Looking at, like, the zone chart, he's a little bit too much in the zone sweeper, just, not even looking at the K rates or whiff rates. I could tell is probably the biggest pitch, which it is. It's got a 50% whiff rate. The rest relatively mediocre. So yeah, I think he's, like I said, he's in that maybe a hold on, maybe you just stream. Ooh, Michael Wacha or Garrett Whitlock rest of year?
Yes, Whitlock. I've seen enough bad Michael Wacha in my life for the last 5 years. I just don't trust the health. I just don't trust it. Again, and I could be wrong, and I will eat that if I am. But Garrett Whitlock is a young enough pitcher with upside. He's got a high strikeout rate, and that's one thing. Even peak Michael Wacha back in the Cardinals days, back in the day, when it was him and Wainwright at the top of that rotation, even then, he wasn't necessarily lighting the world on fire with the K rate. So that's never been his game. So I like the pitchers with the big strikeouts.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
I love that song. It's a good song.
I know.
Let's go to Matt.
I wasn't going to rap,
Homer.
Sorry. So I feel like you were waiting for me to drop the rap. I'm not going to rap.
If you did the first line of that song, we might get canceled. So Matt McLain homered and drove in 3 runs on Wednesday night. He is now up to a 328, 379, 516 slash, 3 bombs, 2 steals, 13 stolen bases. You'd think in 28 games he'd have more than 2 steals, though.
I am very much about Matt McLain right now. You would think the steals would be up, but it is bonkers. We were talking about him last night, the 3-hit game. He's got like 40 hits since he's been called up. The 320 batting average is bonkers. An over 10% barrel percentage. His XBA, even though it's 40 points lower, it's still close to 290. He has been doing some crazy things and hitting 2. It just makes him valuable the rest of the way through. And I think he is in a 12-team league. He is a startable shortstop, probably rest of season, even when he kind of comes back down a little bit more. So I'm very much all about Matt McLain right now. And he is, again, a piece of these words. This word's offense. It's Ellie. And where's Christian Encarnacion Strand? I'm about to do the thing. I'm about to start doing maybe he's going to get called up because I feel it coming up inside of me of why is Christian Encarnacion. Did you know that Christian Encarnacion Strand, he is, at least when I looked yesterday, he was tied for the most homers in the minor leagues with around 30 less at bats than like the next guy. He's hitting over 300, one of the only ones. I believe he's one of only 2 or 3 with 15 homers in the minors to have an over 300 batting average. He doesn't belong there anymore. He's cut his strikeout percentage. He don't belong there anymore.
He doesn't belong. There's nothing left for him to prove. He's in the waiver wire video, which just dropped on the channel. If you haven't, go check that out today. And look, the Vapors knows Ahmad. I remember having that single cassette of that song, by the way, back in the day. I think it dropped like right around the springtime. That was a summer jam, if ever there was one.
I don't remember
It
Ahmad.
was like
I know Nick
1992.
Ahmad.
No, it's Nick Ahmed.
I know, but that was a joke. Brett, I like Brett there. He's like, was I about to do the Batman impression? Where are they?
Where are they? Where are they? No rookie lookies today, although Welsh just basically did one for Christian Encarnacion Strand. So let's talk about Nick Lodolo. Unlikely to return until early August. Apparently the MRI said he's got to stay in the walking boot. So that's not good. It's looking like kind of a lost season. So if you are looking for Nick Lodolo to help you out, I wouldn't hold your breath. I mean, if you have a great team, you can hold on in August and September. Maybe you can, but I'm not really holding right now.
No, I'm done with that. That's probably my biggest L of the trade videos was, the injury. I just didn't see the injury coming. I would find back on him be able to fix it. But yeah, it's a huge disaster. Though, would say maybe a nice little slick room to little dude to take a look at for buying into the near future here for dynasty leagues.
Are you getting more Vinny Pasquantino questions than anything else in your timeline?
Yeah. It's the number one.
Them. So I keep telling everybody Christian Walker. I keep telling everybody, look at Ryan Nada and some of these guys right now on the waiver wire. But it really depends on what's out there waiver wire. Jose Abreu, now that you say it, that's where you go. I mean, you kick the tires on the Jose Abreu. See if you can pry him away because he's definitely hurt somebody at this point. I mean, he's probably available. The trouble is, what are you offering? Maybe Michael Wacha, but Vinny Pasquantino, like, I get it. I understand, everyone's looking to try to fill those holes and stuff like that, but maybe Christian Encarnacion Strand too, another bat. Add that guy now and hope in the next 2 weeks you get somebody like that coming up because he can potentially come up and just rake. Clevenger was removed yesterday. Right bicep soreness. That can't be good. Salvador Perez, he had a hand contusion. He's day-to-day. Max Muncy, grade 2 hamstring strain, so he's going on the IL. And somehow Eloy Jimenez found his way back to the field yesterday, Welsh. This was great. This was, after a few days of waiting around, there you go. Eloy Jimenez back on the field. I know we all just super excited about
We were all just bated breath waiting to see what happened.
I am salty about Eloy Jimenez.
I can tell. Yeah, Eloy's been in your craw for quite some time.
I don't like when I support a player multiple years and defend his honor, and then he does where we're at here with him. No, it has not been good. It's not been good. Don't like it. Alek Manoah, you gotta love this, Welsh. So he is throwing a simulated game today in Dunedin, Florida. He is gonna throw 5 innings in a quote controlled environment end quote. So no trigger warnings. It's going to be a safe space for him to throw. Could you imagine, think about like Don Drysdale. I'm going to sound like an old fart now. Yeah, think about those guys, when they're smoking packs of cigarettes, a safe space for the pitcher.
I love this.
You go back and work at True Value Hardware if you can't pitch in the big leagues, kid.
I love this woke idea of you're just like, oh man, all these kids with their participation trophies and they're sitting in their controlled environments to pitch in. What back in my day, that's like what you were turning into.
Well, do we really have to call it a controlled environment? I
don't really know what they're trying to accomplish.
It's a sim game against.
It's a baseball game that he's throwing in,
but it's not a baseball game. He's throwing a simulated game in a safe space. There's going to be Enya playing, and they're gonna have snacks.
Usually how they do that, if you actually want to know, because I've seen a whole bunch of these, what that is they'll be like. Sometimes they do put the defenders out there, but they'll just be like the big net that's going to be right behind the catcher. They'll have the big track man up, and they'll just have like 3 batters continuously come up and then just keep hitting and working through that. And that's how they do. They don't have guys run the bases, and that's how they run that whole. Sim games are weird to watch, by the way.
I like this. Matt Flood's basically saying Alek Manoah chance of him ever being relevant again. How do you like that? That's a good one. Pretty good. Wonky also asked me to raise my right hand. There we go. Raising my right hand on the show. I know it looks opposite here in the camera, but and I have to repeat after her. I won't go back to the Eloy Jimenez well in 2024 preseason. I am making this commitment. I will stand by this. I'm a man of my word. I won't do it. But I can't wait to see the safe space results for him. That's going to be great. Let's talk about 3 up and 3 down. Jake Berger. You can't stop Jake Berger. 2 more home runs.
dude.
One of the best stories of 2023 has got to be Jake Berger. Can we
Absolutely
bask in the glory? The White Sox.
He needs a Wawa day. If anyone needs a Wawa day, it's Jake Berger.
He needs a Burger King day. They need Jake Burgers or something like that. He needs his own thing. Although they do burgers at Wawa now.
Let's say maybe he could save Burger King. I don't know. I feel like maybe he's like a Five Guys. You know what he should do? He should change his number to 5. And and get a sponsorship with Five Guys and change that. And he's number 5, Burger 5. That would be the play. That's the play, Jake. Sponsorship.
I like the Five Guys burger. Five Guys fries are good, but you have to get them in the place.
By the way, I'm obsessed with Jake Berger. He is a underlying stat darling. The batting average, not the best, 250, but he's got an XP of 275, but 94 percentile hard hit. So top 6% in the league. Actually now it changed. 100 percentile barrel percentage. Barrel and hard hit is the two mixture I'm always looking for. 21.5 barrel percentage with one of the hardest hit in the league. Strikeouts are a little bit up there.
He's been a strikeout guy, but man, when he hits, he's making contact, man. Ball's going a long way. Ranger Suarez, 7 shutout innings, 7 Ks for him. No decision, though, against the Diamondbacks. And Fernando Tatis Jr., 3 for 4 with a dinger and a steal. Pretty good 5-0 win for them over the Guardians. 3 down. Matt Olson had a long day. 9 at-bats, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Not a good day for Matt Olson. It was a long day. Jared Kelenic, 0 for 4, 3 Ks. So that story is really tapering off here as we go. But Spencer Strider, Welsh, we got to talk about this. This is another less than dominant outing. It's been a couple of them now. The one against the Mets wasn't great last week. 5 innings, 5 earned, 6 Ks. Are you having any concerns here about Spencer Strider, or is this just a rough patch? Because it's getting rough.
This is one we just did a breakdown on. So the velo down is concerning. It's absolutely concerning. Fastball, slider, both down a little bit. I kind of wonder, and I don't really have any information on it. There's a part of me that wonders, is he maybe taking a tiny bit off to be able to push the whole season? You know, he wasn't a starter. No, what I'm saying is like he wasn't a full starter last year and he got his innings. He has to be counted on for a ton more innings this year. If there's something about the process of just taking a little bit off to maybe be able to maintain your body or injury worry, that's a speculative type of thing. I still think he's there. I was looking at the individual pitches, and I believe it's the hard hit percentage on the fastball is no different. It's still getting its whiffs. The slider is getting banged, though. It was 22% last year, up to 40% this year. So that slider is just getting smacked, and he's putting it right in the bottom corner of the zone more. It's sitting there. So I think guys are sitting to try to hit that one, and the homers are coming off of that fastball. So he's just got to flip the mix a little bit. I don't know if the velo is like the biggest concern thing we would have overall of anybody. Right. And I'm giving him a little bit more of a pass. But if you watch the trade video this week, I'm buying on him. This last start wasn't the greatest purchase, but I think I may have even said maybe you want to wait to start to
buy on him. To start now, this is the window to buy. Also, buy some PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks. Download the app. Go to PrizePicks.com. Use that promo code leading off. You got to do it. And if you haven't done it by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. You get 100% deposit match up to $100. Welsh, pick some prizes today for the people.
All right. I would love to pick some prizes. My prize picking today is going to start with the Shohei Ohtani hot dog thing, the taco hot dog that we discussed. It is available.
It's a hot dog. It's not a taco.
It's a taco dog. A taco dog is available, and it brings the strikeouts down to 5.5. So give me that. I will pair that with Christian Javier and Mackenzie Gore hits 1.5 under through the first inning. Both of those offenses against these pitchers, I likey. And I'm going to go with Taj Bradley, fantasy score 29.5. So get your taco hot dogs and flow them out, because there's 4 or 5 different options on underdog. So it's a fun day. It's a fun day to get your taco hot dogs.
Yes, on PrizePicks. On PrizePicks.
What did I say?
You said underdog, not the sponsor of our show. Well, let's go to timeout. PrizePicks. Shohei Ohtani on PrizePicks.
PrizePicks.
7 strikeouts, over. Christian Javier, 5 strikeouts, over. Jose Altuve, 7.5. Hitter fantasy score, over. It's not a great betting day. No. I like the Chicago Cubs on the money line today to Christian Javier really is what you're looking at to me. Christian Javier, 5.5 Ks over. Otani, 7.5 over. Basically, my prize picks, I'm just dragging into the betting. Aaron Nola, 5.5. That's an afternoon game, so if you want to bet that now. That's 5.5. If you want to put all three together, you can do that and just kind of watch them unfold. And if you get Nola and that's going well, and then you get Houston or if you get Otani to get to that level, or Javier to get to that level, he might even offer you a cash out and you can still make money on it if you're watching tonight live. Welsh, what do you have on the betting side today?
One thing you could do too with your 3 strikeouts, like you were saying, you could put those in prize picks and you can actually do insurance. So if one doesn't cash, you can
Where
still
can you
get
do that?
paid on prize picks.
On prize picks.
Prize picks. I actually like that. And also careful about talking about Christian Javier, because I talked about Christian Javier the other day and I got screamed at because I apparently jinxed him. So, okay, there you go.
Yeah, you do that sometimes.
I do. Apparently I do. Prize picks. I also like that Chicago game that you talked about, but I'm going to take the first 5. Marcus Stroman, I believe, still leads the league in quality starts. So through the first 5, that's his play. I'm going to go up 1 run through the first 5 for the Cubs. And then I'm also going to take the Minnesota Twins team total runs through the whole game at 4.5. Both are right around like even money.
Okay, continuing on. Also, don't forget about our other wonderful sponsor, Sorare. Go play some Sorare MLB. Sign up today, fantasypros.com/collect. It's free, it's fantasy, it's fun, and you have your players. They're your players for the rest of the season. You own them like you own cards, but they're digital, so they're not going to take up place in your closets. And then, next thing, your grandmother throws them out. You say, why'd you throw out all those cards? They were worth something. No. Sorare MLB. It is a good time. You can also join our league, fantasypros.com/leadingoffleague. And when you're looking at some of the DFS pieces today, Sonny Gray at 10.1, Javier again 10.3, Otani 10.7, Nate Eovaldi if you want to go all the way to the top of the board, but it is tricky there because it's Eovaldi and Otani, so maybe you just go and attack that game differently and you go look for the under in that game, or if you can find a combined strikeout total over on that game. Atlanta, Houston, those are where you're looking for offense today. Also, Michael Harris and Jose Abreu, as Welsh mentioned, starting to get hot. Abreu 2.6. Michael Harris still 2.5, but he's getting hot too. Austin Riley's my home run call for the day. If you want to make a home run call, go to fantasypros.com/chat, sign up for premium, and make your calls today in the home run channel. Welsh, what do you have for the people? Who's going yard today?
I also just want to point out, I love the idea of like the old, like in the past, it would be like grandma throwing out a box. New age is going to be like, Grandma, why'd you defrag my hard drive? I lost all my cards. And
your hard drive was getting full. What do you want from me?
I tried to drag it over to the
Look at the processing speed. It's so slow. If there's one thing I hate, it's when everyone's processing speed is all cluttered.
Get these on an SSD hard drive, honey. This is ridiculous. My home run call for the day, I had to scroll down to it. Jose Ramirez. I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez. A lot of homers coming out of whoever the hell they're playing. I completely forgot. My brain has been mush. But Jose Ramirez, I'm going for multiple. There's a reason I really loved it. That's why I picked it, but I can't get
Whenever
to
it was, so. I'm sure it was really good.
Yeah, my brain has been fried. I've already messed. Oh, it was Ryan Weathers. Awful. Lots of homers. Jose Ramirez, please.
Okay, we'll be back again tomorrow to do it with a fun Friday episode, so make sure you join us live here, Fantasy Pros MLB. We're still not quite at 14K. We want to get to 14K by the end of the month. Subscribe today to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell till it goes ding. Check out the trade video, the waiver wire video, and come back tomorrow. Join us live on a fun Friday. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.